Michael Savage on Talk 910 KNEW.
Around you have grown and accept it that soon
it is the Savage Nation. I've been reading, crazy stories that are going on around the world. It's like the whole world's upside down. And that's what we're talking about in the Savage Nation. And I have an interesting observation to make. It's interesting to me anyway. And that is this Attorney General of the state of California, Jerry Brown, will be on the show in about 10 minutes. Now, he's running for governor. He will be running for governor. At least that's what we think is going to happen. And the country has become such that in states such as New York and California, for example, you have a choice between a liberal and a far-left liberal, or a moderate liberal and an extremist liberal. There's no Republican Party anymore. It's like there's no England anymore. And what's intriguing is that if you assume that Jerry Brown's going to run against Gavin Newsom, they actually need the conservative vote to win. One of them needs the conservative vote to win. And so it puts them in the odd position, as it does any other liberal politician who wants to get elected or reelected, to actually go out and appeal to the other side in order to win. In other words, they're both going to get the Democrat votes. So what's going to be the differential here? It's the swing voters and the conservative voters. And so, therefore, you actually have more power than you know. You, the audience who are listening to this show, it's very significant. This audience is very significant. Make no mistake about it. You're so significant that Bill Clinton wants me taken off the air. You're so significant that congressmen and senators you never heard of who have things to hide want Michael Savage and Rush and others taken off the air. You understand that? And that's what you have to understand. We're making a big difference. But I want to remind those of you on the other side what the First Amendment actually is and what liberalism is. You know, there was a time in America when liberals would say, I may disagree with you, but I would fight for the death of your right to say it, of course. They didn't mean that, but that's what they said. Today you have liberals who say, I may disagree with what you say, but I would kill you rather than listening to it. That's what happened to the liberals of today. They're not liberals by definition, people like that. You call them anything you want, neo-fascists. It doesn't matter what label you give them. They're the dark forces of nature. Chicago, Michael, you're up on the Savage Nation. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, when I heard Bill Clinton on WNPR, it made me sick, and he's got his scope locked. And first thing I said to myself is I turned to my wife and go, you're picking on the wrong guy. I gave it a boxing equation. I said, you're the Ken Buchanan of talk radio. He was a lightweight boxer from Scotland who attacked everybody who went after him with a viciousness that had never been seen in the ring before. And
well, that's right. If Bill Clinton comes after me since he's a private citizen, I'm going to see if we can sue him personally for trying to take away my millstone. Because as I said yesterday, it's one thing to not like somebody politically. It's another thing to try to stop them from making a living. And the fact is, the Bible says, he who takes away a man's millstone, it is as though they have killed him. If they want to try to kill us, we have a right to fight with anything we have in our corner. I'm going to make an announcement very soon, probably by Monday, that no one's heard about yet. Listen to me very carefully. Michael Savage is going to make an announcement Monday that has not been made yet about one of the most preeminent law firms in America. A nonprofit law firm is taking my case. I will have access to 550 lawyers, conservative lawyers, willing to go to battle for me in the courts to make certain that the dark forces of nature, such as Bill Clinton and Debbie Stabenow, do not close down freedom of speech. So don't worry about me. Thank you. I'm not going to take it. I didn't come all this way to have a fraudulent hillbilly take me off the air. Now, you got to ask yourself, why would a man who's made so much money, despite all the criticism, what is it that he's hiding? Why does he want us off the air? What is it that we do that's so dangerous? You have to think about this very carefully, Anywho, here we are. MichaelSavage.com has got stories. Here's one: billions for weatherization and stimulus question. You hear the boondoggle. The boondoggle put out by the Chairman Mao's grandson, Obama. Chairman Obama has boondoggles upon boondoggles. You can't even find them. No one's in there. I found a few. $787 billion economic stimulus program. There's one in there called weatherization, money for weatherization. I don't know where it is in here and how much it's for. But $1.5 billion for carbon capture projects. That's plain old grift for guys like Al Gorleone. $255 million to build a polar icebreaker for the Coast Guard. You hear? I thought the Coast Guard was supposed to protect our coasts instead of protecting us from what? Seals and polar bears? But it's just a boondoggle. It's a shipbuilding contract, in other words, for Mississippi, probably, you know. But the weatherization one is astounding. Nobody knows what it is. But I can guarantee you, whoever gave Obama $5 million owns a weatherization company that's going to get $100 million in contracts. Follow the money. This I can guarantee you. That's how it works. 95-5. 1-800-449-8255. $2 billion for manufacturing advanced batteries for hybrid cars. I don't think you know one of the scandals of the age is that batteries for hybrid cars are so impervious to breaking down that they don't know what to do with them. They have to build new landfills for them. So all of the self-righteous people driving around in Priuses or cars that use these batteries are actually polluting the environment in the long term far more are you than with your dinosaur, internal combustion engine without these batteries. Well, we went through this yesterday. 1-800-449-8255, michaelsavage.com. Hartford, Connecticut. Ferris, quickly go ahead, please.
Good evening, Dr. Savage. I wonder if...
Go ahead. We got very little time. Go ahead.
Well, I'd just like to draw a comparison between the experience factor. When I was told that there is no substitute for experience, I'm reminded of it lately, not only in the presidential category, but also in these two airline crashes. One, you had a very experienced individual in the form of Chesley Sullenberger, who put that plane down.
Who was the pilot of this commuter plane crash? He was inexperienced? I didn't follow that part of it.
You said he, and I want to make this point. It happened to be a she, and no one has expressed it.
Oh, well, girls fly, you know that.
Girls fly. Now, I wonder if she was hired according to a quota system. I don't know.
Maybe she was working her way up to 747s, and she was just training. Unfortunately, whoops. Yes, could have happened to anybody. I mean, I guess in a few years under Obama, the blind will be flying because you want to make certain you don't discriminate. And I think it's very important that we have blind people being able to fly because I don't want them to feel bad. Don't you agree, Ferris, that we should open up airline flying to blind people?
Well, when you think...
I think we should put blind people behind in pilot seats because there's no reason to inhibit people's desire to achieve. We're all equal. We all know we're all equal. And unfortunately, if you were blinded either at birth, God forbid, and don't think I'm making light of being blind. I mean, my brother was blind. But I'll make any sarcastic point I want to make my point. You know, why don't you put a blind person in an airplane? See if you'll fly in it. All liberal airways.
Savage.